Hey, what's going on, my friends? This is Dave Sharpe. Welcome to Wake Up Legendary. And this morning, you guessed it, we have yet another amazing guest on the show. As always, what we're doing here is interviewing and talking to our actual clients, impromptu, no BS, no scripts, no nonsense, just figuring out what it's like to start a business, going through an unorthodox process, unconventional here with an online course and community to learn a skill set versus going to college or some sort of a university setup where you're spending tens of thousands of dollars and many years and in some cases decades preparing for what you're going to do. This is about going through some, simple, yet it can turn into a giant if you want it to. But we start you out with a simple challenge, 5 days, $5. Take it, see if you love it, see if you like it. And if you do and you want to learn these skills and double down and put skin in the game and get involved in a community, you can enroll in our flagship program, our business blueprints, and even come to a mastermind. If any of that sounds interesting to you, you can go to legendarymarketer.com/enroll and get started. With that being said, let's welcome our guest to the show here for Wednesday, October 23rd. Matt, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thanks. Appreciate it. How you doing?
I'm good, my man. Where are you calling in from?
I am from California, although originally from upstate New York, but just my wife and I live about 90 minutes north of LA, up in the high desert area.
Okay, gotcha. Nice. So what led you, what seems like a normal person who by all means was at some point probably out there living a normal life, I don't know, being a good boy, getting good grades, I'm sure, maybe got a good job, seemed like a reasonable, respectable, responsible kind of guy. How did you find your way into the online marketing wild west, and what ultimately led you here?
Yeah. Long story, but I'll try to keep it as short as possible. You can tell I'm an older guy, and it's interesting. Back when I was a teenager, probably about 15 years old, so this is the mid 80s, I told my parents at one point, we were sitting at the dinner table, and I said, I don't know how I'm going to do it, but I'm going to somehow figure out how to work from home. And of course, back then, the whole concept of that was kind of alien. Like, what are you talking about? Who works from home, right? In the 80s, out of all my friends, I think one of our friends had a computer back then, and we all were always kidding them and saying, hey, let's go outside and play. What are you doing on this box, But that was just something that hit my head as a teenager. Had no idea how that would ever work and happen. And at some point, late 90s, my wife and I got our first computer. And I was sitting there just looking at that thing, thinking to myself, there's got to be a way to go on the internet and earn some income. So I started doing a bunch of research like a lot of people do. And I started to teach myself back in the early 2000s how to build websites and do SEO. And built a hobby website with a buddy of mine, a basketball plays and tips site. And back in those days, you could make quite a bit of money on AdSense. So we got that thing going with the traffic and had some AdSense income coming in. And just kind of blossomed from there. And then I started coaching for a website hosting company, building websites and coaching folks through that. And I always had a network marketing thing going on as well. Back when I was 19, my mom took me out to one of those meetings where they were drawing all the circles on the board, and I got all excited about that. So I was doing network marketing as well all through that time, different companies. And then finally, after I learned the SEO, I actually built a real sizable downline in a company using SEO, not doing any of the friends and family stuff, just using the internet. And then I got work doing coaching for high ticket course creators and coaches and doing marketing.
Right, so you've done a little bit of everything.
Yes,
I mean,
all over.
You're a jack of all trades, Matt. I don't know. Maybe you're on your way to your master's at a few of them, but let's dig into this a little bit, because it seems like you've been doing YouTube and blogging for the past few years, and that's what's mainly gotten you all of your results, which is kind of interesting because we've had a few people on talking about YouTube, talking about longer form strategies here recently, and these mystical creatures pop up occasionally. They're the ones who actually are, quietly, plugging long form videos into YouTube, quietly hitting publish on their WordPress blog, and just kind of seeping content out into the internet, specifically feeding the Google beast, which is the Google search engines, which is where your web pages are going to be found, and which is YouTube, owned by Google, the largest video search platform in the world. People use it as a search bar the same way that they use Google as a search bar or a search engine, versus how they use Instagram and TikTok and Facebook, which is more passive scrolling. Google and YouTube are more active searching. So that's kind of one of the things that will differentiate your customer and kind of the quality of the customer from those platforms, is the passive scrolling versus the active searching. There's some sort of an intention there. This person is on YouTube to find out how to grill steaks medium rare, or sear tuna, or fix a carburetor on their car, or tie a knot, or catch a specific type of fish. Lots of how-to stuff. Also lots of long-form podcast watching and show watching and comedy show. I know I'm watching a comedy podcast that's basically a live YouTube show that streams live or premieres live every Monday. It's called Kill Tony. It's just funny. Just an 11-year-old show out of Austin, Texas, where people put their name in a hat to get in front of an audience actually at the mothership in Austin, which is where our mastermind is going to be in January 2025, right on 6th Street. And at this particular place, it's called the Mothership. It's owned by Joe Rogan. And there is a show that happens there live every Monday called Kill Tony. And it's been going for 11 years, but it's just recently kind of gone viral. And anyways, the idea of the show is just that they have, people put their name in a bucket, and then he pulls them, and they get wrangled from a bar across the street where they're waiting to see if their name gets pulled to come up and get to do a minute of comedy on stage, and then he interviews them after, and it's really fun. He finds great comedians, circulates them back through the show as regulars. They also get known from being on the show. It's cool. It's sort of like similar to what we do here, where we feature or we give people an opportunity to really come on, and it's either an interesting conversation, it's not, or they're getting result. You never know what could happen. It's impromptu. You just go with the flow, and it's exciting and it's cool. And honestly, that type of shit is cool in 2024. Anyways, Matt, I'll pause there because I'm talking about YouTube, and I'm talking about the difference between YouTube and blogging and passive scrolling on Instagram and TikTok and Facebook. You say something about this and why you choose, or what led you to investing your time in those strategies.
Yeah, that's a great question. I started to explore some of those other social media channels like Instagram and all of that, and the short form stuff. And I finally came to a conclusion that just my personality, I'm an introvert, but I love to teach. And I thought, you know what? I really like that longer format of being on YouTube and being able to pick something and then teach on it for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes or more. People will sit there and watch videos for even longer than that. But it fit my style. It fit my personality much more than TikTok or Instagram. And I'm down the line, who knows, I might go to those as well and kind of pick out some of my longer form videos and put them over there as shorts and things like that. But short story on that is just to fit my personality, where I love to teach and I can teach on there. And you have an audience, because people will go to YouTube and they just sit there and they'll watch the whole video and learn something and really get some value from it. Just the value that I think I can bring personally on a longer form video. Oh, I think you're muted.
Yeah, sorry.
No worries.
No doubt. I like that too. I like a little bit of a runway to get to making my point. You know what I mean? And then I like a little bit of a runway to bring it in for a landing.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to, this 30-second, 60-second culture that we live in right now. It's not, that's why I do this show. I mean, dude, it takes me 15 minutes to warm up, man. I mean, I gotta, you should see events, live events, legendary live events. There is no time constraints. There is no time limitations. There is no time minimums or maximums. It's just, I mean, all within the schedule, of course, but for me, longer form content, the ability to be able to breathe a little bit and let the conversation breathe and let the point breathe and add some context to it and tell some stories. I don't know. It's just, it's definitely more of my style as well. But I think a lot of people are afraid of that and just afraid of freestyling on a video. I mean, I always say go live and you'll just get thrown into the fire of having to just be a normal human being like you always are, except when a camera's rolling, because that's the only thing that's happening that's different. And the other awkward thing about going live is that if you don't have anybody you're talking to, you're essentially talking to an audience. You just got to know they're there and just get out of your own way. But what was that freestyling like for you, or getting used to talking freely, or did you or do you script videos? I mean, how was that just natural for you? Just trying to understand a little bit if there was anything you did that was helpful.
Yeah. And I'm still finding my way, and just what is my overall style. I think you always are, but for me personally, I do a lot of scripting. That's because I'm a blogger as well, and I'm used to writing and I love to write. I will sit down and write out what are the, I usually pick like three main points in a video, three to five, and sometimes I'll just make bullet points and have that in front of me as I'm making the video, like a teleprompter type thing, just so I don't forget what I'm talking about. And sometimes I'll script out almost word for word, because I write, that's just my style. I write that. I can write like that. I can write like I'm speaking, if that makes sense, because that's really what blogging always was. And so that's what I've done a lot of. However, I have experimented, haven't done it probably in about a month, but a couple of months ago I was experimenting, and I'm going to go back to it because I really liked it and I was getting some good engagement on it. Was going for a run, for example. When I go for a run, it just lets me think. I get away from everything and I'll get great ideas. And so I started to sit down right after the run when I was sweating and the sweat was pouring off me and my face is all red and I just look crazy. And just grabbing my phone when I got home and making a quick video before the thought left me, and just impromptu. Hey, here's what I was thinking about when I was running. And it would be some kind of life lesson or business lesson. I would tie it into business, because that's really my audience is talking about business. And so all those styles work no matter what your style is. Just find it. If it's scripting it, great. If it's just kind of doing impromptu talking, great. I think the main point with all of this, whether it's YouTube, any other social media, blogging, I think you're right. I think people are afraid a lot of times just to post it and see what happens. And they're worried about what people are going to say or think, or, hey, you can't worry about that stuff. You just got to go do your thing, and put it out there. So, it's a little bit of all of that, is what I do.
Yeah, no doubt, man. And I love that. You got to find your own sort of what you're comfortable in. I think everybody wants to use somebody else's system, but you got to find your own, what's comfortable for you, and not try to duplicate anybody else's system or think that their process or the way that they, kind of put their pants on is going to be the way that you should put your pants on exactly. I mean, just there really is something to be said for kind of finding your own little style and sort of embracing your personality and embracing the quirkiness of your personality, and not being so, needing to be such a perfectionist. How did you relax into your personality more, or how are you going from being, what some people think they need to be, which is, I don't know, they overcompensate in some way. They try to be more professional, more kind of corporate sounding, more, you don't talk just how you would talk to somebody who, the way that you're talking on camera should be the way that you talk to your best friends, not the way that you talk to your corporate boss. That's where we're at. Those are the times that we're in right now. So just for that distinction, I feel like I'm giving some clear, simple distinctions today. I'm like, passive scrolling or active searching. That was clear, wasn't it?
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
then this now too. So what do you what comes up for you around the points there that you know that I'm making and kind of I don't know just kind of uh, swirling around.
Just kind of the idea of falling into your personality and just being
Yeah,
comfortable with
right,
that, right?
exactly. Yeah, just getting
Yeah.
comfortable in your own skin, finding your own voice.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's interesting. I was just watching a video last night of a guy who teaches YouTube because I'm continually trying to learn new things and figure it out myself. And he was saying that every YouTube channel has a number, and what he meant by that was the number where it takes off, where all of a sudden your videos are getting 100 views or 50 views or 10 views, all of a sudden you get 10,000 views. It just takes off. And he said for him, it was, I think, 160 something. He's like, I had to put up 160 something videos to get to that point.
Mm,
You might do it at 20, you might do it at
yeah,
50, right? But he's like, what if your number is, 75 and you stopped at 74, And his point was going back to the point you were making. It's just putting out the videos and falling into your style. And for those first dozens of videos or even hundreds of videos, just putting them out and learning and trying different things. So to answer your question a little more directly for myself, I have really played around with doing the scripting and then using some editing to kind of make it all almost be perfect all the way through. Like, the editing things that take out the ums and the ahs and all that kind of stuff and just make it
yeah,
stream really nicely. And I think I got caught up a little bit in that because that is kind of a big thing. It has been a big thing. And then I realized as I was looking at my statistics that most of my viewers are about my age. They're somewhere between 45 and 55. I'm 53. So I'm like, wow, the people that are really finding me now and watching me basically are me. And I'm
mm,
not that kind of person. I'm not the fast, flashy guy. I'm very just normal guy, dad, grandfather, and, like I said, an introvert. I'd rather be just hanging out by myself half the time, So I thought, as I started to learn that and pay attention to those analytics, I thought, you know what? I really just need to go back to just being me. And if I got some ums and some ahs and some pauses, and I look away from the camera and I look at my notes or it's not all polished, I like those kind of videos. I like watching people like that. So I'm falling now. I'm starting to fall more into that, and I've got a whole plan I just wrote out a couple of days ago, and what types of videos I'll make around that kind of, because that's just me, as opposed to being flashy and having bells dinging in the background and all that kind of stuff. So,
yeah.
does that answer where you were going with
Yeah,
it?
no, it does. It does. It really does. I mean, it's just so unique that people. I love the YouTube. I love the just how different it is, and I just wonder if it's possible that people could do both, do long form and short form video, and what kind of your thoughts are around around something like that.
I think so. No doubt about it. That's another thing you can do. If you're doing YouTube and you're doing the long form and you want to just go ahead and chop up some of those videos and turn them into shorts and test that and do both. I don't know if I lost you, Dave.
We lost Dave. It's all good. It happened
Yeah,
yesterday too.
no worries, no worries. I know if he's on that hotspot, it can be a little difficult.
That hotspot will give us
Yeah,
trouble
yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. But
So keep going. I got you.
yeah, no worries, no worries. So yeah, I mean, just that's a great question, and as I said, absolutely, I think there's a lot of differing opinions out there when you go and you watch all the videos on how to do your YouTube channel, what to do on the channel. You'll hear people say, just focus in only on long form and get good at that. Other people will say, if you want to just really do the shorts only. Then you hear people say, do both. And I've been focusing mainly on the long form, but there was a time when I was starting to chop up the videos a little bit and throw them up there as shorts and see what happened, where one of my shorts took off, and all of a sudden, within a matter of hours, had, I think, over 4,000 views, which never has happened with just taking off that quickly with one of my long form videos. So based on that, I'm in that process right now of just testing that out myself. What happens if I do both and see where that takes me. The one thing I will say, though, about that I've noticed is that if your goal, like mine is really less becoming what I would call an influencer or, flashy kind of person who's just kind of out there looking for views, I'm very specifically looking to get lead flow and sales from what I'm doing on YouTube, looking at it from a business perspective. So I have found that I have been more successful, and I see a much more direct correlation between doing the long form video and that turning into leads and sales as opposed to the shorts. Because I know the way I don't know how everybody else is, but the way when I'm just kind of in that mode of going on YouTube and looking at a bunch of shorts, I don't generally look at the description or any comments or anything like that and go click off and take a look at things. I'm just kind of in that mode of just kind of digesting content because my day is done and I'm just kind of gone mentally, So I think that the teaching aspect of a longer form video where you're teaching something specific and you can make that direct correlation in the watcher's mind of, hey, I just taught you this. If you want the next step, go here, opt in, get my free information because it's going to take you to the next step. I think it's more of a natural progression to get leads and sales from.
I say it all the time on Decade in a Day, and I'm going to keep preaching it. Don't sleep on long form content.
No.
I think it's an important piece to add in when you're ready as a marketer. Obviously, don't add it in if the overwhelm is too much.
Yep.
It is a little bit bigger beast to take on. But it warms your audience up quicker in some ways.
Yeah.
Because they're getting 5, 10, 20 minutes of you, getting to know you, trusting you, hearing your voice, hearing how you teach, hearing what you recommend. Where with shorts, with reels, with TikToks, it's little bursts and it takes a lot more to get to that same space sometimes.
Yeah.
It's like you get more touch points from that one long form video than you would from one quick short.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it takes a few more, which is why you got to hook them right away. Got to get them to watch so that the algorithm shows them more of your stuff in their feed.
Yep.
Because that's what it takes to warm them up is more content to their feed and them seeing you, hearing you, understanding you, and growing to trust you. But if they're searching a topic on YouTube and you're the video that comes up for that topic and you give them that answer to that one question they needed an answer to, that trust grows a lot quicker.
It really does. Yeah.
And it'll be there a year from now. It'll be there 2 years from now. And that link will always be available to click. And it just starts to work a little bit for you much longer than short form content does, which is pretty cool.
Yeah. I agree with all that. And the interesting thing too, and I think that's why I ended up gravitating towards YouTube. Because again, coming from the blogging background, I have blog posts that I wrote 10 years ago and they still bring leads and sales in. They're just sitting there bringing the leads in,
Right.
And I like that. That's just, again, that's my personality. I'm a very methodical, patient person, so I like being able to.
No blogs are going to bring in, hundreds of thousands of new emails and subscribers to your list on any given day. But over 5 years, they just kind of keep plugging away. It's one of those things. It just takes some time. So I want to ask you and talk to us, because this is huge with YouTube videos. Is your SEO process making sure it's found? Let's give us some guts. How big are titles, descriptions? What do you do? How do you research it? How do you make sure it lands when people search and they find your videos? Talk to us. Let's do a little intro to YouTube lesson for everybody when they actually go to post a video, because you can't just put all this time into editing a video and post it and then be like, why is it not getting any views?
Yep. That's a great question. Yeah, I do. I do take time to just really, I get my topic. What do I want to talk about? But then I'll go in, and you can use extensions like vidIQ and things like that, right? There's the things you can just attach to your channel, and you can start plugging in ideas, and it'll give you the keyword research. Are people actually searching for this phrase? Do you have it gives you numbers on, do you have an opportunity to even rank for it? So yes, I do take that very seriously. For the most part, because the other thing about YouTube that's interesting to me is it's not just the search function that gets you traffic, but it's when YouTube understands all of us as users of their channel, what our interests are. So what I'm finding is when I look at where I'm getting found, where my traffic is coming from on YouTube itself, yes, there is traffic coming from the search based on me really focusing on the keyword, but I'm also getting found alongside very unrelated videos for my niche, because obviously that person was watching something about, car mechanic stuff, I've noticed. Mm-hmm. And then YouTube knows that they're maybe also interested in business or affiliate marketing or something like that. And so they're showing my video, and that person's clicking from the recommended section over to my thing. So it's really interesting how that works too. But to answer your question, yes, you want to do keyword research and at least start the process from some sort of strategic standpoint, and not just throwing up anything with any old keyword in the title and stuff like that. And then you got to put it in the tags, make sure you're putting the keyword phrases in the tags and all of that. And thumbnails, I'm not an image guy, so that's been the hardest part for me, is figuring out how to do thumbnails.
Right.
As you can tell, I'm more a written word kind of guy, analytical. I don't think really in images. My wife and I were just watching a game show the other day where people had to guess the logos for various businesses, and I was awful at it because I just don't pay attention to the pictures,
Right.
So
right.
That's another big thing too. You got to get good at is the thumbnail and then the image stuff. Yeah.
We're back. Awesome.
Hey,
welcome back.
Yeah, sorry about that.
No worries. So just to close that thought, to answer your question on that. So when it comes to the keyword research, it's the keyword. Do you think you have a good educated guess that you're going to be able to get found for it? And then make sure it's really prominent in the title, in the tags, and then have a really good phrase and image on the thumbnail. And now YouTube lets you test up to three thumbnails at once. So now you can do tests on which one of these thumbnails that I put up there gets the most, click-throughs and all that. So.
Love it. Love it. We were just giving everyone a quick introduction of when they post, how important keywords, descriptions, tags, all of that good stuff is. But I will leave you guys to it. Enjoy.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for hopping in. Sorry about that.
No
there's so many, there's not so many, but there's a couple of variables that are important, right? With a YouTube video that you were just going over. So I'm glad you were going over that. Those are unique little things that are annoying, but they matter, how the thumbnail looks. Cause it's just, what I kind of equate thumbnails to? I equate them to the cereal aisle in the grocery store. You know how when you turn down the cereal aisle, it's just, how could a child not want that stuff?
Exactly.
I mean, it looks like, Disney World, theme parks, cotton candy, big bright colors, pinks, greens, reds, big cartoon characters. I mean, it's poison. It's literally like getting a bag of drugs with like a little logo on it. You ever see the movies where, I don't know if that's in real life. I never came across any drugs that had a little logo on the back. I guess my dealers weren't as sophisticated with their branding as that. But I tell you, our cereal makers are, and so are all of our packagers out there. We sort of see something and it's like, ooh, bright, shiny. And the same thing is true with our YouTube thumbnails, right?
Yeah. It's that I know you didn't hear when I said this, but that's been one of the hardest things for me because I'm not an image person. I'm very much a written word person. And so I've been continuing to play around with that. And my wife keeps me honest too. She's like, now don't be a clickbait person. and just,
It's
make sure that the thumbnail, really tells the right story and all that. Cause I get into my marketing head, and I can tend to do that. I think we all can as marketers.
yeah.
But
It's hard to draw the line and know what the line is, and
yeah.
because everybody. I mean, journalists and newspaper writers and things of that nature were the original. The media was the original marketers. They were the ones who had the newspapers that had the headlines that had to be read and had to catch people's attention. I mean, think about it. Extra, read all about it. That's not from 1990, friends. That's from hundreds of years in the past, where newspapers have been sold all around the world. And journalists, or marketers, I would assume. I mean, editors, editor in chiefs, all the different people who work within the newspaper organization, um, had to both have the content, but also understand content placement and how to structure and word the articles or the stories or the articles within the paper, so they'd get read. So they had, you got pictures, almost thumbnail right there, front of the page, top of the page that gets folded. That's your YouTube thumbnail right there.
Yeah.
And in newspaper, so newspapers have always had a huge emphasis on, I mean, that is big time real estate. What's going to go on the front page? The front page of the newspaper. So that's a big deal, And so, we've now translated that over in the 90s, in the 2000s, into these technological platforms, or digital platforms. But it's the same concept, and that's one of the things that I think I've struggled explaining to people, because I don't think they get it. I think they think that, and you had mentioned earlier in the call, I'm old. Obviously, you can see I'm old. Appreciate the self-deprecating humor, but at the same time, you're not that, but you're old enough to understand that technology can be intimidating until you really understand it's just the same thing as it was before, just in a digital format. We're getting our news just now on digital platforms like social media and so forth, the same way that we used to get our news in a newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these same kind of clickbaity, or if you will, tactics, were originated and just have been evolved. But these were not something that we invented. These are strategies. These are marketing techniques. These are journalistic techniques that have been used to get people to read your stuff, and they're important. We can't demonize marketing, which is hard because compliance is so important nowadays, and we got to pay attention to it, and we got to be aware, and we got to follow the rules to the best of our understanding. And but good marketing, aggressive marketing, a great headline, just like you're explaining here, a thumbnail, a great thumbnail, a great headline. There's nothing like it. It could sell. It could keep up an offer, a video, a sales page, a landing page fresh for years.
It can.
If that thing really hits. And that's what's so seductive and romantic, and what I love so much about marketing. And you were talking about geeking out on it a moment ago as well.
Oh, I love that. I love making all your hooks and figuring out which one of these is going to hit. And then, that's fun stuff.
And I think people miss that, right? They take it so seriously. Why do you think the quitting rate is so high? And why do you think so many people get frustrated and never get to that fun place that you and I are sharing a laugh here? Because we know it's like we've both been there before, where we've been seduced by a sales page we wrote, or an email that we wrote, or we've sat there. And I mean, I play with words and headlines sometimes, like almost like I would imagine a little boy would play with his army wrestling figures, or a girl would carefully dress her doll. Or, I mean, I really, I like to just word play, and just, words are powerful. They're what matter. They're what matter. So why do you think people don't get to the place of having more fun with it? And God, that's sad as I think about it. But why do do you think people don't see that or get to that point and quit too soon?
Yeah, there's a lot there. First of all, I want to go back to something else you said, and then I'll hit that because I think it's important that everybody really think through it. When it comes to hooks and headlines and things like that, and worrying about being clickbaity or anything like that, what I have found, and you guys really helped me with this when I went through the new affiliate stuff, and this really being compliant. I had an epiphany going through that, because I like to get inside my prospect's head in a good quality way. I don't know if that makes sense. Rather than being flamboyant about it, I want to really speak to them. What is the need that I can help them with? How can I serve them? What's the problem that I know they're going through that I know I can solve if they pay attention to me? And I approach my headlines that way. But in the past, I've done all the stuff that your affiliate training said not to do, right? We've all done that stuff. We go to that. But I had an epiphany going through that, because I was like, I can just be real with folks. And I love talking about me helping you. This is me talking to the prospect, me helping you get the skills, get the training that you don't have, that I went through years and years of figuring out. And we've got this figured out now, where you can just go through a course, get it relatively quickly, and be up to speed and be working it and doing it, So I just wanted to go back to that, because I think that's really important, that we can be real with people, but still have really cool hooks in that, or great headlines in that really speak to what they want. And that just comes from doing a little bit of research on your prospect and understanding what that is. So I just wanted to point that out, because I think that's really important, to not go down that other path that can get you in trouble.
Yeah, I'm glad that you did.
Yeah.
I was talking about just getting to that place of having fun with marketing, and maybe a better way to ask that question is, how does somebody get to that place? Or, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's asking the impossible, which is, how do you get somebody to fall in love with something that they're not naturally doing on their own? I don't know. Maybe it's an impossible question, but I wish for more people that they had more fun with marketing, because then they do it more consistently.
Yeah. Well, look, I've in my past, I've coached literally thousands of people over the years. And what I found as a common denominator for quitting or not getting excited about it and fighting through some of the challenges, I think a lot of people, one of the main things is they don't take a long-term view, right? They're thinking, and I get it, we all want instant results. That's the society that we live in now. I want instant results. I mean, we all do. Let's face the facts on that. But I also have a long-term view, and I always have. So when I've had ups and downs through all of this journey, because it hasn't been all rosy, I never quit when I felt like quitting, because there were times when I did, because I had a long-term view, and I knew what I didn't want to go back to. I think that's something that people don't keep in their minds, is what are you trying to get away from? At the same time, keeping your eye on what are you trying to get to? Yes. But I think a lot of people, when they quit an online business or an affiliate marketing business or whatever they're looking to do, I think it comes a lot from just not understanding that things do take longer than you ever can. It's just, everything takes longer. I mean, just look at your to-do list. I'm going to do this, this, and this today. It always takes longer. You never get it all done, because the first thing on the list, you said, I'm going to do that for half an hour, and it took you an hour and a half, right? It's the same thing with business. It's going to take time, especially if you don't have the skills and you don't yet know how to write a headline. You don't know yet how to just create a video and all these things that we're talking about. Take a long-term view. And the other second big thing is being passionate about the problem that you're solving for your audience. That's got to be there. And I think some people will start in a niche or an area where they just kind of fell into it. Somebody showed them something and they got into it, but they're not really passionate about that. I think if you find a passion for the problem you want to solve for your audience, that keeps you going, because that should be the number one thing, that you're trying to help somebody out there get to a better place in whatever niche you're in. And if that's there, and that's really part of you, and that's really what you're here to do, then you will overcome the quitting phases when, oh, this seems hard and I don't know, and all those things that go through our minds. And that never goes away, by the way. When I start new things now, even the YouTube channel, there's times when I put out a video and I'm like, wow, that flopped. That didn't go very well. Okay, what did I learn from it? That's another key thing too, is what did you learn from what you consider to be a failure? It's never a failure. It's a learning experience. And so to answer your question, I think those 3 things right there, if you just keep that as the focus in your mind, it'll help you have more fun, because I look at it like a game. Like, what am I learning? Like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I know not to do that ever again. What can I do instead? It's almost like a game. Or this headline flopped. Okay, how could I reword this and try it again? Let's change it. And it's like, look at it like a game. Because if you look at it like a game, all games you're only doing a game because you want to have fun at the end of the day. So let me stop there. Is that helpful?
The things that you listed were like the rules of the game. If you want to play the game really well and win, the rules of the game are: don't take yourself too seriously. There's feedback, only feedback, never failure. I mean, you just listed out a couple of just really important principles that start there, right? Reverse engineer happiness all the way back to your perspective, how you're receiving information into your head, into your face, into your brain. And if you receive it within a certain filter or frame, it's going to land differently, rather than, turn into now this again, or Murphy's Law. What can go wrong will go wrong. This isn't, meant for me. I'll never succeed, or whatever the catastrophic negative self-talk BS that we do. Or you have your own flavor, of course. Each one of us does. It sounds and looks a little bit differently for all of us. But to get there is to give it all away. I mean, to get into that mindset, that's how important. And I've noticed, because I've had a lot of, I've had some things happen this year that have kind of shifted and shook me and challenged my mental stability and fortitude and strength. And I've had some different moments where I've been like, ooh, that's not right. That's not where I need to be. That's more over into the negative self-talk that I want to be, where I'm being critical of myself or feeling some sort of negativity towards myself because of something that's happening or something that I did or didn't do. And that's a place where I'm real sensitive, because normally I'm in an empowering place. And friends, this mindset shit is way more important than what I think anybody gives on. It's everything, but people just don't want to hear it, because it's like, just tell me where to click. And it's like, yeah, but even if I told you what to do, which I have, the education's there, everything's there. You don't have the follow through. You don't have the grit. You run into a little challenge, stub your toe, and quit. That was fly. That was a dope little rhyme that I did right there.
Yes, it was.
We need to dub that up, okay, and turn that into one of those little, how when they take a part of a president's speech and turn it into a song. All right, so there's a lot going on right here in this conversation. There's mechanics and there's dynamics. We're ending on the dynamics because they're important. And the mechanics of what you're doing with YouTube and even targeting. One more thing that I just want to point out that I like what you're doing, and I did it at one time as well, was targeting people in the network marketing space. Okay. Mm-hmm. Frustrated network marketers who are basically tired of chasing their friends and family. Okay. Yeah. These are people who this is kind of understanding a sub niche inside of the wealth niche, right? So if you layer down a couple of sub niches, you'll get in the wealth niche, which is sort of encapsulates wealth, people trying to create wealth, right? People trying to make money. This encapsulates business opportunities, MLMs, affiliate, work from home, work online, job, anything that has to do with money, employment, job interviews, anything that has to do with success. And so understanding the sub niche, the culture of network marketing, which is like Amway. And many of us have been in one of these or 20 of these, where you're selling lotions, potions, and pills to people. Typically, you make a list of your friends and family. You buy in for a few $100 or whatever. You get a certain amount of product, whether it be digital or physical. And then you're off to, trying to sell the product, but also get people started in the business because they're going to go in your downline. And that's why people are, I'm just one of those pyramid things. If I heard that one more time when I was doing it, I was going to shoot myself, So, it's the ultimate kryptonic question for like a network marketer. Is this one of those pyramid schemes?
Oh yeah.
The network marketer, like, oh, not that objection again. But anyways, so like most people are struggling in that industry, just like they are in many industries, many entrepreneurial industries. And so instead of trying to sell people network marketing, what you're doing and what you're kind of this sub niche that you're getting into is selling picks and shovels to those people. It's selling picks and shovels to the people who are trying to do network marketing, i.e. the people who are trying to mine gold. And there was a lot of money that was also made during the actual gold rush, not of people who were looking to go find gold and did, but in people who along the way or in the various towns where gold was being mined were selling all the picks and the shovels to those miners. And this is a bit of what affiliate marketing can be. You can find a niche and you can sell the people in that niche training. You can sell them tools. You can sell them anything that will help them do the job better. Can be a course, a coaching program, an event, or an affiliate product, a product that you're an affiliate of. And so, I wanted to point that out, that I noticed you're doing that. I did that at one time, actually in the beginning of my career. That's what got me started in this whole thing, was that I was doing network marketing offline, and I came online because I was tired of chasing friends and family, and prospecting anybody within 3 feet of me. And so I came online and started receiving some of that picks and shovels, how to generate leads online training. And then I became an affiliate and started to market that to other network marketers because I knew the language. Yeah. And I was marketing to myself essentially. And so, I love that you're doing that. And any thoughts around that specific niche, what comes up for you with just those kind of thoughts about my experience doing that too?
Yeah, quite a few things, actually. I'll try to keep it as succinct as possible. It goes back to what I was saying earlier about being passionate about what you're doing. I first learned about network marketing when I was 19. I had hair down to here. I had a nose ring. I had earrings. I was playing in a rock and roll band. Okay. So imagine that guy coming to you and saying, hey, you want to be in business with me? So you can imagine all that, right?
You look like a sharp person. Do you keep your business options open?
Exactly. I got thrown out of Foot Locker at an LA mall doing that way back.
Because you were prospecting people?
I went up to the manager, did that. He was a big guy. He was like, I don't know, probably almost a foot taller than me. He just looked down at me and he said, get the out of my place. It was the last time I did that, by the way. That was enough of that. But the reason I do that, and reason I'm teaching network marketers that, is because I get them. I mean, I went through 3 or 4 network marketing companies doing the offline stuff, failing miserably for years before I finally, like I told you at the beginning of the call, I built a sizable downline, international, 9 levels deep, all that stuff, all with online marketing. Because now I said, I got out of it, network marketing at one point. I told my buddy who got me into one of these companies, and I said, I am never doing it again. Don't ever talk to me about it. I don't want to hear about it. But once I learned online marketing, I'm like, hey, I could do it this way, right? So that's my passion. That's where I found success in the industry, was doing the online marketing way, never talking to my friends and family.
Yeah, me too.
And so that's why I'm passionate about teaching networkers who are struggling. Yep. Here's the other thing, though, that is important, I think, to point out. A lot of these network marketing companies now are changing their model to affiliate marketing. There was a big company last month that just did that. All people's downlines disappeared, and now it's all affiliate marketing. So which was cool, because now I'm segueing people and starting to talk about network marketing and affiliate marketing. To me are very similar. It's just that in affiliate marketing, you're not building the next level down, but it's very similar from a marketing perspective in my mind. And I'm moving them over into Legendary, because I'm like, you guys you need to hear about this, because this is the way to really do affiliate marketing. And you got to prepare. I'm telling them now, like, here's 2 companies I know of that just in the past few months, downline's gone, and it's just affiliate marketing.
Shut the doors.
So you better learn the affiliate marketing model, because you never know, So
I can tell you exactly why they're doing that, and in many respects, it's just regulator pressure.
Yeah,
it's regulators coming down on companies because they're too heavily promoting a buy it to sell it type culture, which is very prevalent in network marketing. You're buying the thing, and then people are getting set up on forced auto ships, and there's just lots of different ways in which people. Your affiliate program should be something that's just free and anybody could join. Right? It's not, you can't pay commissions on an affiliate fee. People, you can only pay commissions on product sales.
Right.
And so, the question becomes, are these MLMs going out getting actual real customers, or are all of the people who are buying product just there to be to be in the affiliate or downline business, or whatever you call it, distributor MLM business, and so those regulators come in and they want to see that, and at the end of the day, no, I think affiliate marketing is cleaner. I think that it creates a better culture. It doesn't create a culture, or I try not to, with any affiliate program I'm involved in, to create a culture where, the affiliates are forced to help each other or whatever. Like, people don't want to do that. The team building is what I'm referring to. People want to be left alone. People want to live their own life. They don't want to get on constant rah calls at 8 a.m. or 8 p.m. when they're trying to have dinner with their family. They don't want to travel every 90 days or whatever it is, or even 6 months, to a new rah event. They don't want to be forced to buy product that they don't want just to qualify for commissions or whatever. They don't want to take the call from such and such. They don't want to, they end up wanting to hide. And then you're right, the drama with companies. There's a difference between breaking a company's affiliate policies and getting terminated, or blatantly doing something to break them, and then just the company just wiping out the entire network marketing model, and you losing all of that revenue from your quote downline or the compensation plan that they built. That sucks.
It does.
Sucks. There's nothing cool about that or fun about that. You're just losing income, and it happens all the time. So anyways, there's the point here is that there's people in that industry who can be, I think the main takeaway again that I wanted to point out was just that you're targeting people selling picks and shovels to them in a specific niche, and that can be done in a lot of different niches, right? That can be done in a lot of different niches. You should always just be asking yourself, what else can be sold? What else can be marketed to people? It may not be the main product, but what add-ons? For example, these iPhones created a secondary market for both iPhones, but also for all of the different stuff that goes along with iPhones: headphones, cases, pop sockets, all kinds of different stuff, right? So what other, like whatever you're doing, whatever the main thing is, whether it's the make money online niche, we've always sold software, autoresponders, funnel builders or website builders or different software that can help you do different tasks inside of your marketing or other courses. Because if somebody's interested in marketing education, they're probably interested in something slightly different or learning something new. So there's ways that you can both sell the main thing, but again, back to the affiliate marketing model. And I almost feel like selling the picks and shovels was kind of affiliate marketing, because what you're doing is you're selling somebody else's product. Like even the guys or gals who sold the picks and shovels during the gold rush probably didn't make the picks and shovels.
Yeah.
They were retailing them. They were marketing them. They were selling them. So think about that. Think about that from the perspective of how can I evolve my business. You dropped lots of nuggets, really valuable, almost a masterclass of an hour spent with you here today, Matt. Everybody go check Matt out over on YouTube at Matt Zavadil. Zavadil, sorry.
No worries. No worries.
Matt Zavadil. Okay, man, dude, really useful, helpful, valuable hour, man, with you here. Seriously, thanks for your time today. Everybody, thanks for the love for Matt in the comments. Go check him out, Matt Zavadil, over on YouTube. Follow his journey, support him. And my brother, stay legendary. Thanks for your time. I'll talk to you soon.
Appreciate it. Thanks so much. Have a great one.
All right, bye.
All right.
All right, my friends, awesome way to continue the week with great momentum. Thanks, Matt, for a great episode. Everybody in the comments, everybody watching, thanks for the love. Thanks for the support. Some of these conversations I could just nerd out on for hours. If you're interested in getting started, starting over, being a part of our affiliate program, we were just talking about that. You can go over to legendarymarketer.com and click on affiliates and apply. It's free. Anybody can join. We've been talking about our accountability program. It's a coaching program specifically geared towards holding you accountable over a period of 6 months to do the things that you know you need to do, plus the things that we'll suggest that you do. If you want a free accountability coaching call, you can email me at dave@legendarymarketer.com. We've got 3 amazing accountability coaches, and I'll set you up with a free coaching call with one of them. You can discuss current strategies, problems, ask questions, learn about the program. I can assure you the time will be well spent and super valuable. Email me at dave@legendarymarketer.com. Just email me the word accountability, and I'll CC somebody in. Our next mastermind, I mentioned it's in Austin, Texas, from January 31st to February 2nd. Grab your ticket at legendarymarketer.com/enroll. Okay. And you can go to legendarymarketer.com/enroll and see all of our main 3 offerings, which are our 5-day challenge, our business blueprints programs, and our mastermind. And with that being said, my friends, we will see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Thanks again, Matt, for awesome time spent. Super valuable, super useful today. You can find him again over on YouTube at Matt Zavadil. Matt Zavadil. Really cool name, actually. Rhymes with daffodil. Zavadil, daffodil. Kind of a cool little memory jogger thing there. Anyways, my friends, have a great day. Be legendary. Get out of here. Thanks for hanging out with us, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for another episode. Peace.